Hello and take two. Welcome, 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 Women's Empower Network on this beautiful solar, solar eclipse. It's messing with us a little bit, but we're back and Dawn is unfrozen. And so I'm so excited to introduce her and let her tell us her story of how she went from corporate to sharing the wisdom that she has today. So Dawn, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jenny. It's so wonderful to be on your little interviewing thing, and I'm just so excited to chat with you today.
So tell us about your journey. Um, because you started out, you said you worked for corporate and you traveled around and teaching, but yet that's not your message today, is it?
Well, I think that my message is today is that one must follow their feelings wherever it takes them. So my journey first started when I was young in high school and obtained a scholarship to Juilliard School of Music, but was discouraged by my father, who thought I needed to go into business because he was an excellent businessman. So I gave up that idea. But when I left high school, I moved to New York City, and my very first job was singing in a jazz club in Queens, New York. So that's what led me to believe that I need to be listening more to myself as opposed to the people outside of me. And that took me into corporate advertising. I also, had opportunities with as a photographer scout for ad agencies. I brought three children into the world, and they're all doing great. They're all grown up now, doing their own artistic things. I live self sufficiently on the land in Canada and Nova Scotia, which was something I always wanted to do because I really wanted to know more about what I had inside of me. And all of these experiences really led me to find my avocation or passion in life. And that's really working with people and helping people to understand that their life experiences are so incredibly important. I am an ordained minister. I'm a consultant and a facilitator of workshops and seminars, as well as courses, which I'm going to be doing a course right after we finish up for a bunch of women. And I've been doing this for almost 50 years now. And I don't think that any of those experiences, or what I think things I call tools from my tool chest, have not been advantageous to getting me where I am today, because there's something to be learned by everything. I was always very adventurous. So trying new things was not something I was afraid of at all. My family didn't like it very much, but I've always had that adventurous, get out there and find out what I can do and what I can get involved with and what I can learn from and what I can make part of me to be more of service to other people. So I feel like, my song that I sing these days has to do with helping people be much more successful in life. They're already successful just like I was, but the idea of going beyond any kind of limitations that they may think that they have is what helps me to help them be more successful in life.
So I know, like, even for myself, pushing through that fear, perceived fear, and self-limiting stories can be so frightening. And I'm sure, like, you see a lot of women with potential that aren't using it. How do you help someone who you see has potential and is asking for help, because it takes both, you know, to get started?
Well, the very first thing that I do is I listen really well to what they're saying. And it's very important to me, as a consultant working with somebody, that I am the best person, that they can work with, because I believe that my experiences in life are geared towards certain people, certain women, certain men, lots of young people, because I'm a master of demystifying bewilderment and confusion when it comes to working with people. Uh, so, I listen really well because I feel it's important that people have the person in front of them that's going to provide the best service for them. Otherwise, I make recommendations. But, for people who have a lot of fear, I recognize as a person who didn't have a lot of fears in my life. I'm not saying I didn't have one here or there, but probably that was my mom or my dad's or somebody else's. It wasn't mine. I just really let them know that, fear is based on one thing, and that is not taking the risk, not jumping into what it is that I really feel passionate about doing in that moment. And, that's the way I did it for myself. And I encourage all people to do that for themselves. And if they have a lot of fears in their life, then I encourage them to, find a means to uncover what that fear is that's holding them back so that we can rid of that blockage area, in their early years and get on with living life, because life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be confusing. It's not supposed to be about suffering. It's about enjoying every moment and going towards the goals that we really want in our life. So my best, you know, suggestion for people is to find out where that fear or fears are rooted, and then replace those fears with something that's more in keeping with who they are. Once we discover what the cause is, we can always find a solution or to get to the other side of that. It's kind of like, a quarter. It has two sides. I may be living one side, but if I flip it, I can be living my side of that coin.
I love that analogy. That
Mhm.
is so amazing. Well, I know a lot of people have been, kind of even like you were sharing earlier, where, music was your passion, but your father wanted you to be more practical, So what was it that gave you the courage or the impetus to go follow that dream?
Well, I went to business school and I got a background in marketing. And after that was done, I was like, okay, well, I've done what he wanted me to do. Now this is over with. Now I'm going to go do what I want to do. So I moved to New York City and I met a bunch of people. And the very first night I was there, I was a little, like, oh my gosh, this place is so big. Look at all these people. And I went to this little club in Queens and I sat down and there were a group of people and they must have known I was, all by myself or new in town or whatever. And they invited me to their table. And then I was listening to the piano player and I could tell he was self-taught and he was really good. It was a little jazz combo. And on break, he came over and he said, "You sing, don't you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't sing." And he said, "I don't think you're telling me the truth." So he said, "Would you like to sing a song with us?" And so after their break, I did sing a song with them. And they asked me if I would like to sing with them. And I kind of was hesitant because I saw how great they were, So that was that little fear thing, come into there. And so I said, okay, I'll give her a try. And I did. And I sang with them for a longest time. And then when they found out I was not part of a union, I either had to join a union or, not sing in that club anymore. And I was like, I don't know about union stuff. So I decided I had accomplished a goal. I had done something that I really wanted to do in my life. Let's go find something new and exciting to do. So that's when I went into advertising. And, I never regretted it because for me, it's all about doing the things that I really am passionate about and realizing that I can do anything I want to do. I once had this t-shirt that I loved. It said, on the front of it, it said, all things are possible. On the back of it, it said, pass the word. So I went into a gym one day and I, took off my shirt and put it on the bench with my other stuff. And I came back and my shirt was gone. And I'm like, my shirt is gone. My message has been taken. And then all of a sudden I stood there and I was like, I hope they pass the word. So it's like, you know, when things happen, I have to see the very positive side of that. That somebody liked that shirt so much and the message that it held. And for me, it was already inside, so I had to let that go. But there is nothing I can tell people that is more encouraging than to go do the things that you want to do. Don't be the people that get to be my age or older that don't do the things that they want to do because I have family members. I'm the oldest of seven, and all of the others stayed at home. They never traveled, never did anything, never went out of the country. And, they still hold this small picture of what life is all about. And for me, I needed to have a much bigger picture of people and life and culture and all of those things so that I could feel like I was thriving as a person, thriving as a soul, and thriving as a person who loves building other people.
That is so inspiring, Dawn. I love you so much. I just love your adventuresome spirit. It's so, it just kind of, yeah, I want to do that, you know?
But you are doing that.
Oh, I actually am. And I've, yes. And and the thing that came to mind too is we never regret those things we did, even if they didn't work out.
It's true. But just going back to my own family thing, one of the things that I see that has built is the jealousy that they didn't do it for themselves, when they could have. And in fact, I encourage them, oh, go, leave this little town, go away, go, come where I am, do anything, and that didn't happen. And that's okay, but I feel like a bigger perspective of what's out there and how that can be an inspiration for each one of us when we just allow ourselves to be who we are and to feel those passions as they come towards us and just jump into them, and learn from them and realize that that's what life is all about, is being passionate in the moment and never letting go of the dreams that we have for ourselves because nobody else is going to do it for us. We got to do it for ourselves.
That's beautiful. And I think we've all been gifted with specific or a variety of dreams that were given to us because they're for us. And if you have it, it is achievable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no doubt. The only thing that may change a little bit is the timing. But if I'm earnest about the goals that I've had in my life and the things that I wanted to do, there's a feeling that comes up and says, okay, now's the time to step into that. When I outgrow one thing, I step into something else. And I always know when it's time to release something and go on to the next thing. And that's a great thing if we can all learn how to, embrace that and replace that with a fear, and we can just keep on going, and passionately moving with the things that we really want to do in our life.
I think when you take action too, it makes your dream feel possible. Because we get stuck in our fear, then yeah, our dreams seem impossible because it takes action.
I agree, Jenny, because even on a daily basis, if I feel something moving in that wants to discourage me, one of the things that I'll do is get involved in something. And the minute I get involved in something, whether it's my vegetable gardening or my flower gardening or whatever it is, I start feeling better, and then those renewed feelings can come into me and encourage me. But if I just stay in a slump, my intellect is going to go crazy. So, and nobody needs those kind of headaches.
No, not at all. Well, is there any final words you would like to share with the group that comes to mind?
Well, the only thing that I can think that comes to mind is just get out there and live your life your way, and enjoy every moment of it. And if there's anything or any way I can ever be of service to you, don't hesitate to let me know.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. Well, we'll be sure to put a way for people to get in touch with you at the top of this interview. And again, Dawn, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Jenny, for having me. It has been so much fun. I love you a lot.
Thank you.